Hello and welcome to Crown Chat with Nichelle, where we celebrate remarkable women who are making waves in the world while juggling the demands of their everyday life, inspiring others, and just leaving their impact. I'm your host, Nichelle Miller, also your reigning elite Ms. Pure International Central Region, and I am so excited to share stories of extraordinary women with you right here on Crown Chat. Tonight, I am welcoming someone so special to me, and I know you guys are going to love her, Mrs. Jamie Fewell. Hi, Jamie.
Hello. Thank you so much for having me, Nichelle.
Thank you for coming on. I'm so honored. I'm so proud of you. For those that don't know, I don't know how they cannot know, but tell us who you are, girl.
So my name is Jamie Fewell, and I was just crowned 2 weeks ago your Mrs. Indiana American. Yay! I'm so excited. I'm also a wife, almost 20 years, and I have 4 beautiful children as well. Business owner. I have a gymnastics facility here in Martinsville, Indiana. I have a boutique, online boutique called the Rhinestone Hanger Boutique. So I'm a busy lady. I'm doing all the things.
Oh my goodness. And you're a queen, which I love. And I love that it's showing women that they can do it all.
You can. You really can chase your dreams no matter what you're dealing with in life. Absolutely, 100%.
So I want to get into your platform. But before that, I really want to share, especially for our viewers, we have a lot of pageant girls that watch, kind of your journey to Mrs. Indiana American. So tell us a little bit about that.
So this was my 5th attempt at Mrs. Indiana. So I had competed 4 previous times and never heard my name called. I was fortunate at one point to be second runner-up, which was super exciting. And then the rest of the time, I didn't even make the top finals. So, I learned a lot about myself during the process, but I never gave up hope that this was going to be mine at one point. It was going to be my time.
I love that. I love that. And I think that's so encouraging because I think a lot of women, especially after the first time, were like, oh, didn't work. Never mind.
Yeah. And, I always tell everybody that if this is something that is super important to you and you just can't stop thinking about it, just keep going. They might tell you no 5 times, but you just got to keep going. You got to be persistent. You got to be determined. You always have to have that hope. And then eventually it will happen for you.
I love that.
I'm still pinching myself, Nichelle. I, wake up every day. I do my normal things, but then I think, oh my gosh, this is happening. I'm really your Mrs. Indiana American. I'm going to Las Vegas in August. This is a real thing. So I'm just beyond thrilled.
I love it. I love it. Now I was looking at your pictures because I'm a Facebook stalker, as you know, because I'm a fan. And I saw there's a picture of you talking to your daughter. Mm-hmm. And she looks so excited for you.
So excited.
How was that moment?
Oh my gosh, it was such a special moment. And I'm so glad that whoever took that video, I now have it forever. So it's something I can replay, not only in my mind, but physically have it in front of me. Oh my gosh. So let me tell you a little bit backstory. So last year when I competed, I didn't make the top finals and they had called the last lady's name. And I can remember sitting there and my heart just sank because I knew, here we go again. I didn't hear my name called and I was going to go back behind stage while the other girls did their on-stage question. Well, after the last name was called, everything got kind of silent for like a minute. And in the background, I could hear my daughters going, "We love you, Mom." And at that moment, I knew why I did this every single year, not only for myself, but to show my girls that you have to be persistent. You have to keep showing up for yourself each time. So yeah, it makes it very special. But yeah, seeing her this year coming up on stage, they both came up and then Chloe jumping up and down, holding my hands like, "Mom, this is it. You really did it. You did it." It was just an amazing video, an amazing moment in my life. For sure.
I love it. I love it. And I think for so many girls, I know I was a little girl that watched Miss America and, growing up, and it was like, that was our dream. You wanted to be Miss America. So to see your mom stepping into that is just amazing.
Yeah. And, they've been with me from the very first moment, the very first time I decided to do this. And, they've watched my progress. They've watched me grow as a person. And it's been inspiring for them as well. And I know my oldest, Reagan, she's kind of got the pageant bug, I guess you could call it. And so she's like, "Mom, can you stop directing these local pageants so I can finally compete?" I'm like, "Okay, we'll make that happen this year for you." So
I love it.
I think she's going to follow in my footsteps. She's super interested in the pageant industry. She wants to have a title of her own and do great things with it.
I love it. I love that. So tell us a little bit about your platform and what you're promoting with your title.
Yeah, so my platform has been pretty consistent over the last 5 years, and it's standing up to POTS. POTS stands for postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome, which is a tongue twister. And for most people, they don't even know what that means. Short POTS. But for me, what that means is that my body is not producing enough blood volume. So going from any sort of transition, whether that be sitting to standing, lying down to standing, my heart overcompensates to get that blood to my vital organs. With that being said, it's like my heart is running a marathon every single day. For 6 months, it was debilitating for me. I couldn't stand or walk. Every time I stood up or tried to attempt to walk, I would pass out. For 6 months, I lived my life like that with no answers, no direction from doctors. They would tell me things like, I know we know that there's something wrong with you. We just don't know what's wrong with you. Or they would sit there and Google my symptoms on the computer. And I'm like, oh my God, I can't live my life like this. I was very hopeless at the time. And I was pretty much at the lowest point I've ever experienced in my life. And I can remember laying in bed, and I was so sick and I was devastated. And I was flipping through Facebook, just trying to keep my mind off of things. And I came across the Mrs. Indiana website, or Facebook page, excuse me. And I was really interested in it. I had always really wanted to do some sort of pageant, but never really had the courage or didn't think I had the time. I'm 40 years old. Who does a pageant at 40 years old? I was thinking, does that sound crazy? But I was so sick, and I thought, I really need to set a goal for myself. I need to set a goal for myself that will allow me to push in a way that I needed to get myself and my health back on track.
Yeah.
And so I thought, if I am ever able to get myself where I can walk again, darn it, I am going to walk in heels on stage at Mrs. Indiana. So, I slowly, baby steps, really started to concentrate on getting myself healthy. And I competed in my very first Mrs. Indiana pageant. I didn't do great, but it was the best feeling ever, knowing that I had accomplished from going from my lowest point in my life to now competing at something that I didn't ever think was going to be possible. It was like I was winning the pageant, even though I wasn't coming home with the crown.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's a neat lesson, because for so many, the goal is the crown. I mean, that's why we're there, right? But then for others, there are personal victories that you get along the way.
Yeah.
So I think that's amazing.
Yeah. And, I said that my platform has stayed pretty consistent throughout the whole time. That is my major platform, is really pushing for other people that are struggling with POTS, just to let them know that things are possible. And though you are at your lowest point, things will get better. It does take baby steps. You have to obviously have a really good medical team behind you, and to have a medical team behind you, but also be proactive for your own self and your health. Yeah. But then as I progressed with Mrs. Indiana and the program, I knew that I wanted to kind of veer out a little bit with my platform. And so now I have a mission of hope for women who are going through things in their life, battles, health, marriage, whatever that may be, financial, careers, or whatever, that, as long as you have hope in your life, and like I said earlier, determination, and that you're persistent, you can absolutely make anything possible for yourself. So that's kind of like, I have one platform, and then I'm kind of edging in with another sort of story to share with others.
I love that. That's amazing. So, I mean, you are Mrs. Contestant, a Mrs. Winner. What does your husband think?
My husband is amazing. I couldn't ask for a better partner in life. He has been my backbone since I began this journey. And if I told him I was telling you this, he would be really upset with me. But he, during pageant weekend, is in the hotel room steaming my dresses. Last year, he had to sew me into my interview dress. He does all the things for me. While I'm like going rehearsals, he's in there steaming, sewing, doing all the things for me so that I can compete. And but he's like, please don't tell anybody. I'm like, here you are, Michael. You're getting all the things. So yeah, he's 100% on board. Whatever dreams I have, he's right there with me.
I love that. That's wonderful. And tell him he's not alone. Mr. Miller does the same things. So he's not alone.
Very much a part of their life too, and
Yeah.
it's awesome to have that supportive person. And like my whole entire family has been fantastic the whole entire time. My mom's super excited. She's like, we're going to Vegas, Jamie. Every day I go in because we work together. So my mom and I started the gymnastics business together. And every time I go in, she's like, are you counting down the days? I'm like, for what? She's like, Vegas. I'm like, oh yeah, of course I am. So everybody's really excited for me.
I love it. I love it. So next, of course, is Vegas. So what are your goals? Beyond Vegas, what's your plan for the year?
Oh goodness, that's a great question. So, I really want to do a lot of community events right now locally. I've been very fortunate. I've been on a local podcast. I've been with you. Thank you so much. And then this coming week, I'm going to an elementary school and we're going to read some of my favorite stories, and then they're going to share their favorite stories with me. And then I got called today to do an event with some girls that are struggling with some confidence issues at a school. And so they say after school, there's 10 girls. And so I'm going on Wednesday to share my story. So I'm excited about that. Just small things right now leading up to Vegas, and then obviously going out to Vegas. My goals are, it would be great to come home with the title 100%, but I really and truly just want to go and experience Vegas, experience that week with the other girls, and take lots of pictures, memories, and do the best I can. And if I can come home with those gifts, then I've done everything I wanted to do.
Yeah, for sure. I love that. I love that. So we've talked about, you faced the challenge with POTS, and just kind of overcoming that. And then even some challenges as far as feeling, I would guess some confidence issues with, not hearing your name called, not hearing your name called.
Yeah.
How did you overcome? You pushed and you were like, this is my dream and I am going and I'm going to keep going. How did you push past that?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that has been one of the biggest questions a lot of people have asked me. They're like, why do you keep going back? Do you need that sense of validation in your life? And I'm like, well, wait a minute. It's nothing about validation for me. For me, it's about a dream. And, this has been such an important part of my life since I was diagnosed with POTS, getting my health in track, that it wasn't going to be, no, Jamie, you're not going to be our queen. It was, yes, Jamie, you're going to continue this because every time you do this, you learn something about yourself and you are getting healthier every time you do it. And I feel like right now, because of this organization, that I truly am the healthiest I've ever been my entire life. And that's including because back in the day, way back in the day, I was an Indianapolis Colts cheerleader for 5 years. And, you have to be in fantastic shape for that. But mentally, physically, emotionally, right now, at the age of 46, which my birthday, is that next week? My birthday is next week. I'll be 47. And so I feel like emotionally, spiritually, physically, I am the healthiest I've ever been. And I know that a lot of that has to do with this organization and really pushing myself to achieve the goals that I wanted to do.
I love that. That's amazing. That's amazing. So how do you feel you've grown through pageantry?
Yeah, for sure. So for a lot of people would be surprised to know this about me, but growing up, I was super backward and shy to the point where when I would go to school, the teachers were like, there's something wrong with her. Like something's going on with her. They even thought at one point that I was having seizures. And so, I remember my mom taking me to the doctor. They're running all sorts of tests on me. And finally, when the test came back, I'm normal. My doctor was like, she's probably just very introverted. So why don't you get her involved in something? So they put me in dance, which helped me grow into an individual because once I started dance, it became my niche in life. Like I really flourished with something in my life for the first time in my life that I was really good at. And even though I was, kind of quiet and shy still going through dance, I really just have pushed myself because I knew this was something that I was going to struggle with my entire life. I knew that I was going to have that introverted, kind of shy personality my whole entire life. So putting myself in those awkward, kind of uncomfortable situations really has allowed me to grow into the person I am today with the help of this organization. Because, you know, going into a pageant at the age of 40 and having to get on stage in a bathing suit can be, you know, interesting for sure. And coming out of, you know, a time in my life where it was super unhealthy. I mean, I'm getting a phone call, sorry. Where I was out of a diagnosis where I couldn't stand or walk, couldn't exercise, and getting into a bathing suit. But, you know, I lived my life without regrets. So, you know, if I allowed myself to have those negative thoughts, to think, you know what, I can't do that. You know what, I'm going to have dimples in my butt. You know, I'm going to have the extra pooch because I'm a mom of 4. You know, I haven't been able to exercise for a year now. If I let those doubts set in my mind too long, I knew that, you know, I wouldn't get anywhere. So it's really important for me to have that mindset of living without regrets. So I knew that I was going to continue to do this every single time. I'm a woman. I'm a mom of 4. I'm not going to be perfect. You know, that's the biggest thing is, you know, and what I love about this organization, it's not about being perfect. It's celebrating the person you are. And so, you know, I just push, and I can say now that, you know, in 20 years when I'm, excuse me, 67, my gosh, 20 years is such a short period of time. When I'm 67, I can say, you know, I did that for myself. I tried. Yes, it took me 5 times. I didn't need validation. I was setting a goal for myself, and here I am, and I was able to achieve that goal, and I can say I did it. And I'm not at 67 thinking, why don't I just try one more year?
Yeah.
Why did I not go back again? I probably would eventually do. I don't want to think that way. If I always got no, it's okay. At least I can say I tried.
Yeah.
And that's important. And it's such a big message I'd like to share with everybody is that you've got to at least try. It's terrible. And I know you can probably vouch for this. And I'm sure there's things in your life that you had an opportunity to do, but you didn't do it. And you look back now and you think, gosh, why didn't I just do that?
Yep.
But, you know, unfortunately, there are some things in life that you're probably, you know, at the age where you probably couldn't do that anymore. You know, but with Mrs. Indiana, there is no age limit. So I was telling the judges, I was like, darn it, if I don't get crowned this time, I guarantee you I'll be back next year and the next year and the next year. If I'm 67 with my walker coming out on stage, I'm going to be there.
I love that. I love the persistence. And they were like, okay, look, this is it. This is the year. But no, I watched your prep. I watched everything you did. You posted consistently. You were on LinkedIn. Like, hey, this is my journey. This is my dream. And I love that you really you walked the talk. I mean, this was something that was important to you. And anybody that interacted with you knew it. And if they didn't, I don't know what they were doing because it was everywhere. And it was amazing to watch the journey.
Well, I just feel like, you know, social media has been huge for me just to get my message out there. You know, everybody's on social media. Not everybody's going to watch your pageant, but they're going to follow you on social media, and they're going to want to know if you're sharing something, they're going to want to know a little bit more. And if I can just help one person, you know, with all my posting that I do and all the sharing I do, if I can just help one person out there that is going through something similar to what I experienced, then gosh, I've done my job. And, you know, I feel like matter of fact, today, I had a woman reach out to me, social media. I didn't even know who she was, but she told me that she had a daughter who was having some symptoms that were very similar to POTS, and that they had gone to doctor after doctor after doctor, and they were getting the answer like, well, it's all in her head. You know, there's probably nothing really wrong with her. Yeah, her heart rate's elevated. And she's like, she's passing out every week. This is not normal. When you have something like, if you're struggling with some mental health issues, you're probably not going to pass out, right? So I told her, I was like, you just need to be proactive. If you're not getting the answers that you want now, keep going. But just these stories, you know, and me posting on social media has allowed me to connect with other individuals. And like this, this girl, she's 16, and things that she's going through with her life right now are things that I went through several years ago. And if I can just give her some answer, I'm not a medical person, I'm not a physician, so I can't give her medical information, but I can give her my advice, and I can tell her my story, and I can encourage her that it does get better. And once she gets that diagnosis, that she can work on herself, baby steps, get her health on track, and she will feel better. And and those are the things that make this worthwhile. So posting it on social media has been huge for me.
Yeah, you're amazing. You're absolutely amazing. I could talk to you all night, and you know this, but I'm not going to hold you hostage. So, I know that you're heading to Vegas soon. How can people follow your journey and support you even?
Yeah, so I'm on all the social media bases, Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook. So if they want to reach out to me, I would love to share my story in more depth if they have any questions. But, I am looking for sponsorship, and this is a really difficult part of the whole journey for me, is asking for help. And, that's just part of it. But for me, I'm a mom of four. You understand this. If you're moms out there and you're watching, that we have a tendency to just want to do everything ourselves and not ask for help. But to make this possible, there is sponsorship that is required. And, for me to get there, I will have to ask for help. So if anybody is interested in, supporting my journey, I would love to do something in return. And whether that, spotlight your business on social media, some marketing, whatever that may be, I'm your girl. And you can reach me on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, wherever. I'm there. You just have to type in Jamie Fewell, and I'll probably be, my last name's pretty unique, so I'll probably be the first one that pops up. And that's Fewell.
Wonderful.
So
I posted it so everybody can find it.
It's confusing.
Awesome. You're amazing, and I'm so proud of you. And of course, I'll be watching and cheering you on for Mrs. America. Now, you and I talked a little before we went on live, just real quick. I know I said last question, but what's the difference between the Mrs. Indiana and the Mrs. Indiana American, and how does that feed into Vegas?
So that is a great question, and that is something that I've been asked a lot, because super confusing, especially if you don't follow pageantry.
Yeah.
And so a lot of questions are like, there's two Mrs. Indiana? What? I don't get it. Yeah. So 4 years ago, the Mrs. America organization wanted to open up opportunities for more married women, because, being a married woman is super important. We're out there, we're super busy, we're moms, we're wives, we're doing all the things. Why not celebrate more women? So they opened up a second title, which is the American. So Mrs. America was the first original title. And then 4 years ago, they were like, well, let's celebrate more married women, and they opened up another title, which I'm so thankful for. Otherwise, I would not be here right now. And they opened up the American. So the America and the American both have their separate national pageant in Las Vegas. So Rachel Stanko, which I absolutely love her, I hope she's watching, we'll go out to Vegas together, but she will compete for Mrs. America. And then I will go for Mrs. American. If we both were to win, which we are, I'm shooting the confidence her way too. She's already confident and amazing. But if we both were to win, then we both would compete together at Mrs. World. So it's kind of exciting. And I know it's still a little confusing, especially if you're not, all the different titles, and if you don't follow pageantry, but it's an amazing opportunity. And I'm very, very, very thankful to be in this position.
I love it. I love it. I love you. And I know that you're going to make our state so proud, and make mamas proud and wives proud. And I know that Michael and the girls, are they going with you?
Yeah. Yeah. So my boys, and I have 2 boys and 2 girls, they will be going out with me. My husband, of course, and then my parents, my husband's parents, my in-laws, aunts and uncles. We're gonna have a whole big, it's amazing.
I love it. I love it. And
can I say something really quick about pageantry, really, really, really quickly? So 2 years ago, and this is where it ties me to you. We both were fortunate to judge a pageant together, and that's how we connected. So, you know, pageantry has done so much more than just personal growth for me, but it has allowed me to make these amazing friendships with women all over the state of Indiana, all over the United States. I mean, women that, you know, I have built this lifelong friendship with. And you're one of those people. So I'm so thankful for you. And you're doing amazing things. But, you know, pageantry brought us together. I mean, otherwise, if I wouldn't have gotten involved in this organization, I wouldn't have been there that day to meet you.
That's You're gonna make me cry. That's so true. So true. And we met, and that was it. That was that
We
day.
sat down next to each other and then immediately connected that day.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I love you. I'm so proud of you. I'm praying this brings a new audience to follow you. And everyone, I typed her info in the comments, so please follow her. Jamie, we're cheering you on, and go get us that crown, lady.
Thank you so much. I'll do my best, you guys. I will.
I know you will. Thank you so much. Good night, everybody.
Good night.